Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and somebody very close to Kamala Harris, he just stabbed her in the back. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. And if you're not watching us on YouTube, guys, it helps us so much if you do that. It's absolutely free to go to that address in the lower right-hand corner, youtube.com/@explainamerica. Hit subscribe, absolutely free, really helps us out. So you guys remember about a month ago, Kamala Harris introduced her economic plans that sound a lot like communism, sound a lot like socialism. Well, she introduced those plans and she got a lot of pushback. And one of those plans, part of one of those plans, is this idea of an unrealized gains tax, which means if you invest or your company makes money, but you don't take the money, it stays in the company, or you don't take the money from your stocks, it stays in the stocks. And let's say you make $20,000 that year. You got to pay tax on that $20,000. Now, the stock tanks the next year. They don't give you money back. They don't give you a refund. They don't give you a tax write-off. So you only pay money if your stock or your investment increases. But if it decreases, no, too bad, so sad. That kind of seems un-American to me. Kind of seems a lot like socialism, communism. But what's weird is to hear Ro Khanna, her campaign surrogate, actually say that. Actually say that, yeah, he doesn't agree with it. He thinks it's a horrible idea. This is a guy campaigning for her. I want you to listen to what he has to say, and then let me know what you think in the comments.
We spent time talking about the idea of taxing investors on unrealized gains. Our next guest is looking at something we've also talked about quite a bit on this program, and Andrew's been talking about it for years. Bill Ackman recently talked about it with Jay Clayton, I think yesterday, the day before, and that's taxing loans related to the gains instead of trying to do it in a way that's probably not even possible to do. But Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna of California, his 17th district is located in the heart of Silicon Valley, and anybody that doesn't realize that that is a goose that lays golden eggs constantly for this country and for the world. He's joining us today. Well, it says in your capacity as a surrogate of the Harris-Walz campaign. I'm going to forget that. I'm going to say you're joining us today as my and as my running mate. If we
bottom of the ticket, Joe Rowe.
No. Rojo. I want a cushy job where I don't have to do anything, but I can take credit for things. I want the.
We need you in the Midwest. Anyway.
But you tweeted it out to me, unsolicited, I think last week. What about this idea? And we've talked about it. It bears, I think, some consideration and a conversation. I immediately hear from other conservatives, we don't need to raise taxes no matter what.
Right.
But there are founders of companies that start with nothing. They have $5 billion. They die and they pass it on to their heirs.
If you're using it as cash, it should be taxed.
It's never been taxed, ever. It's never been taxed.
But they're borrowing against it.
But they borrow against it, and the idea, and it's what you came up with.
Well,
why do you not want to do Kamala's idea? Well, or whoever came up with it. Why do you not want to do the Elizabeth Warren? Why do you not want to do that one?
Let me tell you why I don't think a blanket tax on unrealized gain is a good thing. I mean, let's say you're an entrepreneur. You create a company. It gets to 100 million or 200 million on paper. Now, if you're taxing that, you're probably going to force that person to sell it. They're probably going to sell it to private equity. Do you really want the entrepreneurs to be forced to sell their companies to larger institutions and to decline in value? I don't think that that's what you want for a startup ecosystem.
That would be the unintended consequence. Jeff Bezos wouldn't have to do that. They're going after these very, I think the whole policy is demagoguing to go after these people that they say pay less of a tax rate than their maid does, and they have billions of dollars.
I get why, but this is not the right way to do it. And also, 95% of investments in startups fail, and so you're going to disincentivize investments in those startups. But here's what I think we can go after. You have folks, they start to have capital appreciation, and then instead of realizing that, they take out a loan, which I call backdoor realization, to fund their entire lifestyle. They never pay tax on that. Then, when they die, they pass that money on to their heirs, and their kids never pay tax on that. So